Okay, before we get started, we always want to make sure that our robot platform type is on natural language PLTW. If it's not going to communicate correctly. And since the test bed is the Cortex 2.0 Cortex, if we're not on the natural language PLTW, it will not sync up correctly. That's where we need to stay. Secondly, you should see all of your control structures. This is going to be standard. You'll be able to find all the same stuff on there every single time, and it will look the same no matter what. So today we're going to go ahead and open up a sample program. And if it comes up Vex 2, we're going to go scroll down to PLTW natural language. From there, we're going to touch, and then we're going bump to spin. Bump to spin should be pretty self-explanatory as far as what our expectation is, because it's bump, which is a button, the bump, and then our motor should spin. So pretty easy to understand. First step, before we can get really into the program, we have to make sure that our motor and sensor setup is correct every single time. Sometimes we'll unplug things and move them because maybe the port doesn't work, or we had an extra motor, or we changed the motors altogether. Motor and sensor setup also does not save from time to time to time. So we're going to click on motor and sensor setup. We're going to go to select configuration and make sure that GTT testbed is selected. If you're done, then you can go ahead and go to the motors, and you can see what motors are in there. Port 1 is claw motor. Again, if you wanted to move your claw motor to port 4, as I do typically, I just grab claw motor, move it to port 4. I take this port 1 and put it into no motor. And now my claw motor becomes my 3-wire motor. So all I did is just take port 1, take the exact specifications in port 1, and I put it in port 4. Port 4 allows me to have the motor controller in there, whereas port 1 does not. It's just straight to the claw. Sometimes the claw seems to jam up and it doesn't want to open correctly. If I am good, I like everything else. My bump switch is in the digital 2, my limit switch is in digital 1, my line follower in analog 1, and port potentiometer in analog 2. I know I'm ready to move on. I hit apply and OK. You can see that all of my information has been set up. Everything at the beginning of my program is already configured for me. I don't have to do anything else past this. Now, looking through, we have robot type RecBot. We don't need to use the RecBot, so I'm going to highlight this whole line. So line 18, I'm going to get rid of it altogether. Line 18, I got rid of altogether. Again, task main, parentheses, those stay. That's standard. We will always use task main. Number 17, line 17, you'll see a start curly bracket. That is going to be where we start all of our programs. Everything inside that start curly bracket and end curly bracket works together. It's just like a capital and a period that you know it's a sentence. It starts, it ends, and it's all together. I'm on line 17. Now, start on 17, you'll see that there's the start curly bracket. Down on line 26, there is an end curly bracket. Now, I think I may have deleted something, so yours may be a little bit different. When I hit the delete key, I think it actually moved everything up. So yours could be on a different line. So mine is line 17 and line 26. Okay, so it looks like we had a little bit of a problem with some people having their start curly bracket on different numbers and their end curly bracket on different numbers. So just kind of know that that could be an issue. Your start bracket and your end curly bracket could be at different places. Doesn't make any difference as far as how your program will function. It will still work the same. So mine is 17 is the start curly bracket and 27 is the end curly bracket. That's like the sandwich. You've got the bread on the top and the bread on the bottom and all the good stuff in between. Okay? Now, the next thing that you'll see is the word while. While is just like it sounds. While something is happening, something else will happen. It is cause and effect. And I know you guys have understood that and have learned about cause and effect. While Something is happening. Now, in this case, it says true. I can replace the word true with 1 equals 1. Uh, Why would I use 1 equals 1? Is 1 equals 1 true? Yes. 1 will always equal 1. And yes, I repeated the word equal. If I just put 1 equals 1, it kind of has some kind of error. I can compile it and it does work. If I take away one of these ones, it says, what are you trying to do here? Because we're talking in its language, it needs to have 2 equals. When I put the second equal in, I compile and all is good again. So next step is looking at while 1 equals 1, or I can put the word true back in here. Oh boy. While true, sorry, a little bit of typing problems. While true, you'll notice on line 21 for me, there is a start curly bracket. Why would I have another start curly bracket? Because we're going to put another section of something together. We use the curly brackets so that anything that goes inside that curly bracket, while it's true, this all happens. If I take these curly brackets out, it will only do the first line. While it's true, stop. Well, we don't want that to happen. It will only stop. It'll never get until bump. It'll never get to turning. It'll never wait. It won't do anything other than just stop. Okay? So this is actually called a loop. Now, if you think about a loop, when we're pushing a button, if you push a button to turn your volume up while you're holding that button on, it's continuing to raise the volume. Loops are a good thing when they work correctly. So we have just created a loop. So something can keep happening over and over and over and over again. Now, by default, we want the thing to stop. So our motors will be stopped until the bump occurs. Now, this is set up for digital 16. Now, we did not put our bump switch in digital 6. Where did we put our bump switch? Read the top. What does it say? Digital 2. So this is DGTL2. So I need to change mine 6 to a 2. And then I'm going to also wait for touch sensor in digital port 2 to be bumped. The next thing we need to happen is look at the word point turn. I'm not really comfortable with the word point turn, so I'm going to go over to my motors. And you can see that we have movement, and I'm going to click start motor. Instead of point turn, I'm going to replace that with the word start motor. You can see how I just went to natural language. I hit the tree next to natural language. I hit the tree next to movement, and I found start motor. Now, stop could also be stop motor. Again, it's using a different language. We're using natural language. They're using something a little bit different for our bump to spin. Again, we erased that rec bot. This is something that the rec bot understood. So reviewing, I took stop and I added the word motor with a capital M. So stops motor. Until bump, I changed it to DGTL2. And I added start motor under natural language, movement, start motor. Now, if you notice under point turn, it says right 95. Well, I don't want to just turn right. Not really sure what that would even mean because our test bed looks much different than a rec bot. So I want to make sure that my right motor is turning. So instead of motor port, I'm going to type in RIGHT capital MOTOR. And if you noticed as I was typing, it did pop up a box. And I want to put in right motor. My speed I'm taking off of line 25 here, and I'm going to change that to 95. And I'm going to take this, instead of rewriting the whole thing, so I'm going to make the right motor turn in place at a speed 95. I'm going to erase my point turn because it's not really valid for us right now. Weight 1.5 can stay, and I'm going to compile my program. If you have any errors, this is where the errors will show up and kind of yell at you. If it does compile correctly, then you're good to go, and now I can download it to the robot. If I hit start, you can see how it stopped and waiting. As soon as I push the button, the motor turns. It runs for 1.5 seconds. And so now it's going to continue. Now you notice that it never stops, right? Just keeps going. The best thing to do would be to put a stop motor in there so that it's going to control the motor as it will. I'm going to hit stop, and then I'm good to go for this program until we edit. If we wanted to, the next step would be to take the stop motor and move it to the end. So I'm going to grab stop motor, and I'm going to move that under the weight. I can try this again. We can keep trying until we figure out the right process for our motor. And here's where our stop motor happened. We forgot to put in right motor. So we never specified that we wanted the right motor to stop. So for stop motor, we need to put in specification. Let's try it, compile one more time, and download to robot. Now you notice that it did let us make an error, and it just let us do it. So that's kind of weird, but it does happen. So let's go ahead and try stop. As soon as I push the button, it goes and it waits 1.5 seconds, and it stops. Okay, so hopefully you have this works for you. Rewatch this video, pause it, stop it, do whatever you need to make this work for you. All right, thank you.